In this video, we're going to take a look at how you can use XLReporter's report as you run technology to build up an annual summary report for a water treatment operation just by taking daily snapshots from live values in a PLC. So to do that, I'm going to open up the template studio and I'm going to create a new template. We'll call this one Annual Flow. And I'm going to use the option to import an existing workbook. So for that, I'll go into my templates folder here, WTP, Annual Production. And you can see here in this report, it's actually got quite a bit of configuration already built up. It has 12 sheets for the months of the year that basically are designed to take daily flow totals from up to 8 stations. And then the data from all of these monthly sheets is summarized on this annual sheet here as well. So to get started configuring this, I've already got the workbook laid out. So I'm going to jump into XLReporter's connection configurator so I can begin adding data from the PLC. In this connections menu, basically maps the values from XLReporter's data connectors that you have configured in the project into locations in the template. So I'll select the XLRDA connector, that's my PLC simulator. I'll add a new group, and I'll include 8 flow values from the simulator. I think I actually only have 4 different pumps, but I'll just include them twice just for the purpose of the demonstration. So I have 8 columns total. And the first column brought back by these data groups by default is a timestamp column. And if you notice, our layout just includes the day number of the month, so we don't really need that. I'll disable it. Then I'll save the group, and we'll just name it after the template, which is the default convention. Now the real key aspect of placing this is we want to set it into F5, active by any sheet, so it can move across all these monthly sheets. And then we want to set the placement type to offset down on DM, or day of month. And if you were using different intervals in a different report, like hourly or 15 minutes, you can use this expression builder to select the offset that you want. You don't have to memorize all these crazy expression codes. Now we place this into the template, and what that's going to do is if we run the report automatically on a schedule, we run it on the first of the month, the data is going to get placed in row 1 relative to where we started at F5. If it runs then again on the second of the month, it's going to move down 1, and so on and so forth. The reason why offset is better than append or insert for these types of reports, I think, is because if you miss a day or you start the report in the middle of a month, it always places the data on the appropriate row. Now, the next thing I want to do is add an automatic naming convention to this template so that when it runs on the schedule, it knows to go into a report for 2020, and then as the year ticks over on the system time, it'll go into 2021, and so on. So to do that, I open up the Report Names menu, and I'll set the name of the workbook to Annual Flow, and then the 4-digit year name. So if we updated it right now, it would be Annual Flow 2020. Now the next thing I'm going to do here is a little bit more of an advanced setup. Typically these target name settings are designed so that you can define a sheet in the template. Say you could define a sheet called template, and if you wanted it to create monthly sheets, you would target the name of template as month, and then template would be copied to January, February, March, and so on. Now because of the structure that we have, where we have all these sheets already defined and we have the annual summary pointing at them, we don't really want to have any new sheets be created automatically. So in that case, we use the wildcard sheet, and we set the wildcard sheet's target name to 3-digit month, which matches the convention that we've laid out here. And that way, no new sheets will be created, but the connection can hop around to these different existing sheets and place the data in the correct location. And now the last thing we have to do here, because we have the template laid out, we've got the connection, we know what data is coming in and where it's going to go, we know what the files are going to be named. The last thing we have to do is just create a schedule, which is just going to animate all this and put it into motion based on what we've set up. So I go into the project schedule, and I add a new action. The action is going to occur daily at the end of the day. So I can take the snapshot of the totalizer before it resets on each of these flow meters. And then I want, as an action update worksheet, And instead of any of the 13 sheets that I have defined, I'm going to target that wildcard sheet. And now we can simulate this being updated automatically using this test function. And now I'm using a simulator, so all of my data is just going to be, I guess, fake anyway. But if you were using a real PLC, of course, I just need to mention that you're not really backfilling the data per se. You're really just simulating how the connection is going to be placed and how the formatting will look in light of that. But it's still a really good test tool to use while you're developing. So let's set this to 2359, 59, just like we would do automatically. 2359, 59. And then we'll let it rip. I'll close down the template while I'm here. This will only take a moment to run through, and when it's done, we can save the schedule. And then we can check out the results using the Workbook Reports viewer. Now this is just a reflection of the Excel workbook report files created by the project. We're just using XLReporter's viewing component to look at it. But in this viewer, we have a subfolder for annual flow. That's the name of the template. If we select that one, we can see any files associated with the template. Right now, we've got annual flow 2020. And then in that file, we can see that the July and August areas that we ran have been populated. And if we go and look at those reports for July and August, we can see they're filled out in detail as well. And so, in summary, I guess this is basically just the general workflow of how you can design reports using Report as you Run technology to build up a report automatically, incrementally over time from live data in a PLC.